Chosen one, if you were led here, do not think it's by chance. There are messages that only the Spirit recognizes, even before the mind can understand. If something inside you has already started to beat stronger, then listen closely. What is about to be revealed has the power to change your entire atmosphere. This is not just another inspirational message. It is a heavenly announcement, a silent decree that echoes in the heavens and descends into the deepest part of your heart. The time you spent waiting, praying, feeling like the last in line is coming to an end. There is a sacred movement happening around you, even if you can't clearly see it yet. It's a divine repositioning that does not depend on your strength, your performance, or your resources. It depends solely on God's sovereign decision to say, now you are ready. And this readiness does not manifest through what you've accumulated, but through what you have endured. God saw every tear shed in silence. Every night you battled anxiety through prayer. Every time you believed, even with no visible evidence. None of that was in vain. You weren't being forgotten, you were being prepared. Now heaven opens with a new order. The time of human effort has ended, and the time of divine provision has begun. What is beginning to manifest in your life will not come by effort. It will come by spiritual release. You are being carried not by human strategies, but by grace. Sustained not by earthly structures, but by eternal promises. Heaven is releasing resources, direction, rest, wisdom, and such an inexplicable favor that those around you will wonder how everything began to happen so suddenly. But you will know, it wasn't luck. It was the fulfillment of a decree already signed in the heavenly backstage. Before we continue, write in the comments, God has already released what is mine. This simple phrase is more than a comment, it is a prophetic sign, a spiritual activation. And if you feel in your spirit that this is your time, subscribe now to the channel and stay connected with words that feed your faith. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not in a year, now. So keep your heart open. This is just the beginning. Chosen one, maybe you've spent the last few months or even years believing that everything was delayed, that what was supposed to happen simply didn't happen. That time passed, the promises weren't fulfilled, and your prayers remained in silence. But now you begin to understand it wasn't delay, it was preparation. Heaven never works in haste, but always with precision. Every door that didn't open was protecting you from entering places that couldn't sustain your destiny. Every connection that broke, every path that disappeared, was actually preparing the arrival of a new route. You weren't being ignored, you were being hidden, sheltered, refined, for the exact moment when heaven would decide to say, now. And this now won't come at just any time. It was marked for a specific Thursday, this Thursday, the one that approaches silently for the world, but loaded with destiny for you. What is going to happen may not make logical sense, and it doesn't have to. The spiritual is rarely explained by human logic, but everything in you will know, this is what I was waiting for. What seemed like delay was, in truth, divine synchronicity. Your soul is already feeling it. Your mind may be trying to rationalize it, but your spirit is vibrating on another frequency because the calling has been activated, because the portal is opening, because you are about to experience a change that will be remembered not just as a special day, but as the beginning of a new season in your existence. Chosen one, there are ordinary days, and there are days that mark eternity. This Thursday won't just be a date on the calendar, it will be a spiritual turning point. You will wake up and realize something in the air is different. Maybe the sky has the same tone. Maybe the streets look the same. But inside you, everything will have changed. Your spiritual atmosphere will be lighter. The feeling of stagnation will give way to flow. And it's not an emotional or psychological change, it's spiritual. The invisible weight that silently accompanied you for so long will begin to dissipate because the forces that resisted you are being displaced. What was locked in the invisible is now being released with authority. This Thursday carries an anointing of alignment. It is when the spiritual meets the natural, when what you merely sensed begins to materialize before your eyes. You're not going crazy, you're not dreaming too big. You're simply tuning into heaven's frequency and that frequency is releasing answers, people, doors, and revelations that were being held back. You will notice it in the details: an unexpected phone call, a sudden idea, a piece that makes no sense, a yes, where before there was only silence. This Thursday brings God's presence in a tangible way, carrying the certainty that you are entering the time of harvest, of fulfillment, and of revelation. If this confirms something you already felt in silence, write in the comments, "I feel this Thursday calling me." And if this message resonated in your spirit, subscribe to the channel now to keep walking with this revelation. Heaven is just beginning to speak to you. Thursday won't just be another day, it will be a portal, a window open between dimensions where the spiritual invades the physical, where the invisible becomes tangible. Chosen one, you will notice something crossing your reality like a breeze that carries purpose, like a divine gaze turned solely towards you. And this portal is not symbolic. It is real. It is present. You may not hear trumpets. You may not see lightning, but you will feel it. You will feel that your breathing is deeper, that your spirit is more sensitive, that your words are more charged with power. This happens because heaven is compressing years of preparation into a single moment of manifestation. You have been aligned, forged, and positioned for this exact moment. It is no coincidence that you've been more introspective, quieter, more attentive in recent days. You're not tired, you're being tuned. God is silencing the noise around you so you can clearly hear the sound of activation, the calling, the sending, and all of this intensifies this Thursday. Doors that didn't respond will begin to creak with anticipation. People who were distant will suddenly feel like reaching out to you. Situations that seemed stuck will start moving with unusual speed. But none of this will be forced. It will be synchronized because you are crossing the portal of the exact time, God's time. This Thursday is marked in heaven with your name. And when you cross this invisible threshold, you will know from this point on, your story will no longer be written the same way. What begins to move this Thursday does not hide in the background. God is no longer operating only in silence. Now, He is making visible what was once only a promise. The miracles approaching your life will not come disguised as coincidence. They will come with a heavenly signature, with a seal of purpose, with undeniable evidence. You will notice this when doors begin to open without effort, when what once required persistence now aligns naturally, when resources, answers, and confirmations arrive even before you ask. This is not magic. It is released purpose. It is heaven saying, "Now is the time of my chosen one." And it's important for you to know, positioning is as miraculous as the blessing. God doesn't just bring what is yours. He also places you in the right position to receive it. And at this very moment, everything around you is adjusting. The space, the time, the people, the opportunities are being repositioned to find you. You are no longer in a place of waiting. You are in a place of visibility. And this has nothing to do with fame, but with revelation. What was hidden in you, gifts, words, wisdom, solutions, will now begin to be seen, valued, and sought after. Not for vanity, but because the world needs the light you carry. If this confirms something in your spirit, write in the comments, "I am in the right place at the exact time." And if you feel this word is shaping your journey, subscribe to the channel right now. That way, you don't walk alone, you walk with other chosen ones who are awakening to the same promise. On this Thursday marked by heaven, a deep truth begins to solidify in your spirit. What is about to happen in your life does not depend on anyone but God. No system, no person, no external support has the power to limit what the Creator Himself has already decreed. The release over your life is spiritual, and therefore, it ignores human limitations. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth. You no longer need to wait for validation from those who rejected you. The promotion that God is releasing over you will not pass through the hand of those who tried to stop you. It will be placed directly on your path, and those who doubt it will see it. This Thursday symbolizes the transition from a time when you waited for circumstances to change to a time when you begin to understand that heaven itself commands the scene. When God decides to exalt someone, there is no force that can block it. And He has decided to exalt you not so that you feel superior, but so that you can fulfill the calling He entrusted to you with greater authority. Get ready to receive what no one will be able to take from you. Get ready for doors that don't open through resumes, but through destiny. Get ready for achievements that don't make sense to the world, but are part of God's perfect plan. Many of your past days were marked by anxiety. You asked yourself, when will it be my turn? Why does everything feel so far away? Has God forgotten me? But now, as Thursday approaches with its atmosphere charged with promises, the answer finally begins to echo in your spirit. God's timing is perfect, and it is reaching you now. There is a divine rhythm guiding your every step, and even when it seemed like nothing was moving, everything was being meticulously aligned. The delays, the pauses, the unexpected changes, none of it was wasted. It was preparation. It was heaven positioning you precisely so that you wouldn't just receive but sustain what is coming. This Thursday, you will no longer be driven by haste, but by peace. You will not act out of desperation, but out of direction. Because when it is God who moves, acceleration happens without noise. Restoration comes without fanfare. The answer arrives without uproar. You will begin to feel this in the details, in the way your mind slows down, in the way your decisions become clearer, and in the confidence that springs up within you without logical explanation. It is the Holy Spirit repositioning you from the inside so that everything around you begins to align. Have you noticed how suddenly certain things that once seemed confusing have begun to become clearer? As if a fog were slowly lifting? Know this, it's not a coincidence. It's the reflection of a deep realignment between your mind and your spirit. And this Thursday, that clarity will reach a new dimension. Your inner vision is being restored. What was once indecipherable will begin to make sense. The answers that seemed distant will start to emerge from within you, as if they had always been there, simply waiting for the right moment to be revealed. It's not just rational understanding, it's spiritual discernment, a quiet yet powerful knowing. You will begin to recognize what is yours and what never was. You will distinguish between what strengthens you and what drains you, between divine connections and emotional distractions. And this type of clarity does not come from human effort. It comes from a release from above. It comes when heaven decides to align you with your true frequency. Starting this Thursday, the time of doubt comes to an end. Now is the time of certainty. Certainty in your calling, your identity, your mission. And you will feel it in your body, your soul, your spirit. Nothing will be the same again. This is the turning point. And if you feel this word is for you, keep your heart open. More revelations are coming. Maybe you can't explain it, but you're feeling it. Something is moving behind the scenes of your existence. And it's not just coincidences or random thoughts. It's heaven working on your behalf. This Thursday, you will clearly see that what seemed stuck or blocked was actually being carefully repositioned. There is a spiritual reordering taking place. God is realigning people, situations, and even your inner emotions. What was binding you, confusing you, or causing hesitation is now starting to dissolve. The weight you've been carrying is being removed with surgical precision. It's as if invisible hands were dismantling the old scenery of your life to build something new, something aligned with who you truly are. Everything that no longer belongs to your new season is being removed, not as punishment, but as liberation. The resistance you were facing is losing power because the frequency that once surrounded you can no longer contain you. You've leveled up. You're lighter, more sensitive to divine direction, more prepared to notice the signs. And for that reason, this Thursday, be alert. People who once ignored you will start to notice your presence. Doors that wouldn't open will unlock with ease. The atmosphere around you will be altered. Your own energy will carry the fragrance of divine transformation. You didn't have to shout. You didn't have to convince anyone. You didn't have to prove anything. And still, heaven responded. This Thursday, what you released in silence, the prayers no one heard, the dreams you didn't dare to speak, the decisions you made alone, between you and God are being honored with divine precision. This Thursday will be marked by unexpected answers, not by human logic, but by the echo of your spiritual yes. You said yes to the mission, even without all the details. You said yes to the change, even through fear. You said yes to the calling, even without knowing if you were ready. And now, God responds. You won't need to repeat your requests. The answer will come before the next question. That's the nature of the supernatural move. It honors the available spirit, not the perfect resume. You weren't chosen because you knew everything. You were chosen because even without knowing, you kept going. And for that reason, don't be surprised if this Thursday someone seeks you out with an offer that feels too big. Or if you suddenly gain clarity about something that once confused you. Don't run, don't doubt, just give thanks. What is coming is the fruit of a harvest planted in silence, in the soil of faith. You are not being remembered, you are being revealed. If this message confirms something you had already been feeling, simply write in the comments, "My silent yes was heard." And if you're not yet part of this channel, subscribe now, because here, every word is a spiritual key. Nothing about this Thursday will be ordinary. That's because you are no longer being led by circumstances, but by the invisible hand of God, who is organizing the backstage of your life. Every detail that seemed out of place, He is giving it meaning. Every piece that felt lost, He is fitting it perfectly. You are being positioned, but not for just anything, for the impossible. This positioning won't come with fanfare. Don't expect a big announcement. It will be subtle, yet precise. A prompting, a thought, a deep sensation of, this is the way. Heaven is pushing you toward what once felt unreachable. What you once prayed for with tears and thought was too big is now approaching you naturally. But pay attention. You must move in response. Don't rationalize, don't delay, don't fall back into old patterns of doubt. This Thursday, you will be led to places where only faith can walk. The impossible is not some distant idea, it is a reality reserved for those aligned with the divine. So look around, notice the signs, listen beyond the words. God is arranging people, resources, ideas, and even time, all to position you in the right place at the exact right time. And when you feel that perfect alignment, when everything finally makes sense, remember, it wasn't coincidence, it was sacred positioning. This Thursday, there will be a silent moment, perhaps during an ordinary breakfast, a solitary walk, or even amidst routine tasks in which you will feel something has changed. And that change won't be external, but internal. It won't be a fleeting emotion, but an unshakable conviction. The kind of sensation that can't be explained, only recognized. You may not see the door opening yet, but you'll know the key has already turned within. A new level of perception is emerging. A kind of spiritual maturity that once felt distant now dwells within you with confidence. You will no longer be shaken by fear of lack, of loss, of being forgotten, because within you will arise a confidence that didn't come from effort, it came from presence. And that is what changes everything. When something changes within, what's outside begins to respond. People react differently. The atmosphere feels lighter. What once stalled now flows. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Your vibrational field has been purified, your mind renewed, your spirit has taken the lead. This Thursday will be marked by this sacred moment of awareness, and after it, you will never be the same. When this Thursday dawns, something invisible will have been reorganized in your atmosphere. You will not have made any extraordinary effort, and yet the answers will begin to arrive. Not just subtle signs, but clear responses. People who once pulled away will now draw near. Doors that were sealed will begin to open without you having to push. And conversations that seem casual will carry revelations your soul had long awaited. All of this because your frequency has changed. What once vibrated in doubt now resonates in certainty. What once carried fear now radiates faith. You have entered into resonance with the higher plan, and when that happens, the natural world bows to the spiritual. It's not magic nor luck. It's alignment. It's creation responding to the Creator who dwells within you. And maybe someone will ask, but why now? Why today? And you won't have a rational answer. You will simply know that this Thursday is not ordinary. It is a response. A harvest of all the times you trusted even when nothing made sense. A divine return on the seeds planted in tears, faith, and obedience. Keep your heart open. The journey is not over. But know this, what's coming has already sensed your calling. As this Thursday progresses, you will be led to places both physical and spiritual that weren't part of your plans. Changes in direction, delays that seem inconvenient, encounters that appear random. all of it will be part of divine repositioning. Heaven is adjusting your path to ensure you are at the precise point where the promise manifests. Some doors may close, some conversations may feel strange, but don't worry. It's not rejection, it's repositioning. What God has prepared for you requires precision. You can't be in the wrong place and expect the right thing. And this Thursday, that level of precision will begin to become visible. The unlikely will become possible, the impossible inevitable. And you will realize that everything, absolutely everything, was being orchestrated from within the silence. You don't need to explain this new season to anyone. Not everyone will understand because it wasn't revealed to them. And when this Thursday arrives, you will feel it. It won't be just another day. It will be like passing through an invisible veil, like waking up from a deep sleep and realizing the world around you is responding differently to your presence. You won't need to explain anything. Your glow will speak for itself. The weight that once felt unbearable will begin to lift, not because everything has suddenly resolved, but because you are now aligned with something infinitely greater. Everything that once limited you will begin to lose its grip. The doors that once seemed closed will open with ease. The fears that used to paralyze you will lose their power. And you will understand with a clarity only heaven can provide that this Thursday was marked on the divine calendar from the beginning. It was God who scheduled this moment. It was heaven that orchestrated every synchronicity. Nothing was in vain. Nothing was by chance. You no longer walk alone. You are no longer begging for miracles. You have become the miracle in motion. And this new energy will attract people, situations, and resources that vibrate at the same frequency as your mission. So, chosen one, if this word resonated in your heart, if you felt the divine presence guiding you here, write in the comments, "I receive this divine Thursday," and declare it to the universe as a prophetic act of faith. And if you wish to keep walking alongside messages that uplift, strengthen, and align you with your purpose, subscribe to the channel now, because each video is an extension of heaven touching your journey. See you in the next message. Until then, get ready. This Thursday will change everything.